Hi, I'm Richie.
I'm Jeremy.
And this week, in Week in Review with Richie and Jeremy, it's episode
19.
19! Woo! It's our first year out of adolescence.
19.
Yeah, really nothing goes on at the age of 19, is it?
Where I grew up in Maine, Canada.
You grew up in Canada!
We used to, drinking age in Canada was 19. So you know what we all did, right?
You went to Canada and drank when you were 19?
Yeah, and the borders were really loose back then. We could just drive back and forth. They just, whoever was soberest.
Soberest.
That's the truth. It's the truth. This is the truth. Sorry, Mom, because my mom watches these. Yeah.
We're gonna have to have his mom call in and give us her opinion of things back then.
And the border patrol used to sit in this big window. It was just a huge big window, and they'd be sitting there drinking coffee, and it'd be like 2, 3 a.m. because it's an hour time change when you go to Canada. So it'd be like 3 a.m. and they would just be looking and drinking coffee, and they'd be like, just go ahead. They wouldn't even talk to us. They just go ahead.
Yeah,
go
because
ahead.
you're coming into America. They don't care.
Well, you try and do it now. It's a whole different thing.
So what are you wearing over there? Wait, you're not wearing an American flag shirt this week?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Look at this.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, cool. That's why I wore my Italian shirt.
Yeah.
You want to wear the American flag?
I gotta wear American flag,
I'll
man.
wear the Italian shirt. Let's get some diversity in here.
America 250. This is a big year for our country. July 4th is coming up, and by the way, July 4th, don't forget, it's the 4th of July. Of course, you have the Asheville 4th of July Festival.
Everybody's having a 4th of July festival.
But Williamsport is having the big
fireworks
fireworks
right?
there. The backwoods boom is happening. Last year they had it in Circleville, but they got moved to Williamsport, which I think is cool. Give some Williamsport some love.
Spread the love.
And Williamsport's going to have the big one this year, so just remember that. So you got the 4th of July in Williamsport, and you have the one in Asheville, and that's it. That's the only people doing it.
Do we need to
except for my neighbors who, they shoot it off.
Hey, do we need to put a little disclosure at the bottom, like flashing lights can close easier?
You like that? I like it.
Like, do we need to alert the viewership that something happened with flashing lights?
Do we have a guest?
We do have a guest today. Our guest today is the executive director of the Pickaway County Park District. He corrected me ahead of time, so I almost said Parks Department. Craig Sanders. What's going on, Craig?
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a joy to hang out with Richie and Jeremy to get to know you. And so I'm excited to be on episode 19. I was hoping for 20, but 19, big Cleveland Browns fan, big fan of Bernie Kosar. Actually got to meet him.
The legend.
Bernie Kosar from the University of Miami. I actually got to meet him on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Big Cleveland Browns backers event that was in Cleveland, so that was pretty neat. So
you got a photo of that?
I don't, because it's on the website. They would not let you take an individual picture with him, which was a little bit weird. So once they send that to me, I can send that to you. But I do. We got to meet a bunch of Cleveland Browns players, and my kiddos got to go too. So that was really cool. They had their little mini footballs and got all the players signed and things along those lines. So it was pretty neat. I'm a big kid at heart too, so I was pretty pumped up.
Sure.
I've met Bernie a handful of times when Cleveland had the draft there in 21, in the midst of the COVID nonsense. We actually met him and got to spend a little bit of time with him, which was a really neat deal. So it's terrible and very sad to be a Cleveland Browns fan, but we also love it. My entire family is a Browns fan. Our kiddos are big-time Browns fans.
So if you out there wondering why we're talking about the Browns, because his number is 19.
19.
And that's why episode 19.
Episode
so he's trying to make this correlation
I'm
here.
trying to get there. But Bernie, number 19, lives forever, the legend.
The legend.
And so I'm excited to be episode 19. Instead of 20 or instead of 18, we'll take 19. Sounds good.
And I noticed when you walked in the podcast room, you knew exactly what episode it was. Obviously, you're a little bit of a fan, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you watching the podcast and getting caught up. We've got a lot of good guests, man.
Well, it's been fun to kind of watch that. I will tell you, too, if you're on Richie's good side, what you do is, which I don't know how many people in Circleville are, but if you are, he will ask you to share about this podcast. And if you do, you might get a free sandwich, or you might get a
cannoli,
or absolutely nothing, and
an attitude.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. So I had an opportunity to invite my friends list from my Facebook. I have over 1,000 folks, and So I got to share that, and a lot of people accepted that. So it's kind of a neat deal to kind of see that, and to be here today is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
welcome. What do we got? Wait, before we
I want to talk about his bio real quick.
Before we get into talking about his bio, what do we got going on this week?
Okay, so tonight, Circleville Council, the judicial pushed ahead, finally, the marijuana...
You mean they finally stood and made a decision instead of pushing it down the line again?
No, they pushed it into council, so they're going to discuss it in council.
Or is council going to push it and stall it?
I don't think so. I don't think that's how it's going to happen. They're either going to vote for it or vote against it. But it was
so. This is we're talking about the marijuana dispensary thing potentially coming to the city of Circleville.
Yep, possibly coming to the city of Circleville. And a lot of the council members that were there on the judicial committee spoke really positively about it. There was only one person that was just an adamant no.
Which council member was that?
It was Jake Davison. He's one of our new council members. But
he was adamantly against it.
He was adamantly against it.
Okay.
Yep. So really cool thing. It's something to watch coming up in the future. See what they're gonna do. There's 3 different places that they're really kind of talking about placing it. One of them is down there by Aldi's.
Okay.
One of them was downtown.
Was that the OPBS or something?
Yeah, yep. And one possibly downtown.
Oh, really?
And then there was a couple of people there tonight. We're talking positively about it being in the downtown area because it would bring people.
It would help bring traffic and bring business to the downtown.
And I actually don't disagree with that.
Right.
And then there was some people that were against it and stuff. And one of the things that they have said, and one of the things I think that's pushed this forward is that, Circleville Township, who is where Walmart is and stuff, they could easily accept this dispensary down there by Walmart, and then we wouldn't get any of the money for it. And then, is the city going to lose tax money if they don't do it? And I think that's what's kind of pushing this decision. So we'll see what happens from there.
No, I think it's a smart move that financially wise for the city, to take those tax dollars, the sales tax and whatnot dollars that come along with it for the for the dispensaries, instead of giving it to a township and then the city has no money to pay bills, and then we have to pass more levies and or raise taxes and whatnot to cover the expenses.
Yeah.
How are we going to pay for the pool?
So whether you're pro or against it, regardless,
it'll benefit the city.
Most likely, either Circleville Township or Circleville will approve a marijuana dispensary, so we'll have one. So,
but if it's within the city, at least we'll get the tax dollars, which can help improve the city.
That's correct.
One thing you guys talked about last week I found interesting is you said that they couldn't promote their products on outside of the building. Why is that?
Because when the voters approved recreational marijuana, then the state came back and they were able to put together the rules around it. Okay. And those are some of the rules.
Box.
One of the crazy things is you walk into there, and I don't know if you ever went to a jewelry store like this where they have the magnetic gate where you have to pull in the door and they push the button and then you open the door. Well, they check your ID before you even get into the building. And then when you go into the building, they check your ID again. And all the cameras...
And then when you go to pay, they check your ID again.
I'm not sure if they do it 3 times or twice.
Twice.
But all the cameras inside of the marijuana dispensary are actually... The state can log into them to watch, and they're regulated on the weight and the size and everything to do with everything. It's highly regulated. So, which makes it a little bit better than, some of the...
Which means no kids are going in and buying them that are underage.
The hemp stores, they didn't have any of those regulations. So really, we were less safe when we had the hemp stores than we will be with this situation.
Good to know.
And for the record, I voted no against recreational marijuana. But, I just understand why they're doing what they're doing. So,
what else we got?
Well, this weekend's a big weekend, right?
What's this weekend?
Well, it's Father's Day.
Father's Day!
Yeah, Father's Day.
Yes, the day that everybody's wife tells them to go cook the barbecue.
Right, Father's Day, isn't it?
When the fathers don't even get to relax.
So one thing that happens on Father's Day every year in Ohio.
You know what happens on Father's Day? It's a great day to go grocery shopping and whatnot, because all the single moms have dropped off their kids with their dads, and then they're out.
This is not what we need from him here. Not what we need.
I got to rockle them back in here.
Yeah.
No, this weekend for Father's Day, They have
Tell me I'm wrong.
They have the free fishing weekend.
Free fishing?
Ohio does that through.
So you don't need a license this weekend to go fishing?
Correct, for Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, nice.
So you can go out with your kids and go fishing and stuff, and it's free. You know, you don't have to have your license or anything like that. And I think that's really a cool thing. And they always do it on Father's Day, which I think is really a neat thing.
That is.
Yeah. And then, Friday is a national holiday, the Juneteenth.
Juneteenth, yes.
So that's another one, too.
Which was the official end of slavery.
Official end of slavery.
Which was what year?
Was it 1865 in Texas?
1865. What year did it become a federal holiday?
2021.
2021.
Yeah, Biden.
So it took that long to become a federal holiday.
So it was celebrated before then.
Right.
It was celebrated by a lot of people.
But not nationally.
But not nationally. In 2021, it became a federal holiday. And I think, it should have been way before that.
Obviously.
My personal opinion. But it's really cool. It's a really cool holiday.
What else has happened this past week?
Let's see here. DeWine asked for the end of Ohio death penalty. So for about 8 years now, we haven't been able to execute anybody. You know why, right?
No way.
Because the pharmaceutical companies, because the only way that legally you can somebody is in Ohio is by lethal injection.
Okay.
And the pharmaceutical companies refuse to give those medications.
Ah, okay, I got you.
So, and actually, Brian Stewart is the one that put in the bill to do it by gas chamber.
Oh, really?
Yep. So that's kind of where that's going. But DeWine called for an end for it.
Okay, and is this like his things that he's trying to do on his way out?
Yeah, it's one of those things he's doing on his way out. It's one of the ones I don't necessarily agree with. He does a lot of things for kids, and that's one of the ones I support him with. So he does a lot of foster care stuff.
Right. All right, what else we got?
So let's talk about the Park District. Let's talk about the man in the room here.
Oh, that's right. We have somebody with us.
Yeah, you have somebody. Well, you're going through the subjects here. Let's talk about the man in the room here.
Well,
tell me a little bit about yourself. Where'd you come from?
So I'm originally from Galveston,
His car
Ohio.
in the parking lot.
Yeah, my car is in the parking lot by Richie's Deli.
We're in an undisclosed location.
Yeah, undisclosed location in the caves, deep within Roundtown here. So I'm originally from Galveston, Ohio. I grew up there, came to Circleville Bible College in 2002. Met my wife, Jenny, who I've been married to for over 20 years. We graduated in 2005. We were the last class, this is our big claim to fame, but we were the last class of the Circleville Bible College. And then the next semester, it changed the name to Ohio Christian University. And so that was a kind of a neat thing for us. To be a part of that. We initially moved to Adams County for 3 years and did some ministry there in a small rural community in Winchester, Ohio. And I was able to do some youth ministry and coach some girls basketball and some different things along those lines, which was fun. And then we moved back to Gallipolis. I moved back to Gallipolis. My wife Jenny's from the Chillicothe area, and so we moved to Gallipolis and we lived there for 15 years. And I probably did every job under the entire sun while I was in Gallipolis.
Were you part of their parks department in Gallipolis?
I was. So I took over in 2019 as the park manager and recreation coordinator there. So my main duties, we had multiple parks there that I would oversee and trail systems there, but then also I was over all of our youth sports. So we ran a youth soccer program there.
Through the parks department?
Yes, through the parks department. And we did youth soccer, and then we also took over the youth baseball and softball league there too. So one really neat thing for me in the midst of that was I had the opportunity to go to the Ohio Parks and Recreation Association conference or convention that's in Sandusky, and then I was able to meet guys like Tom Davis, who's the former director here for the Pickaway County.
Love that
guy. Yes, Tom has been fantastic.
How you doing, Tom?
He helped Jenny and I look for houses, and we looked at about 30 of them here in Pickaway County, which was super fun. But we finally found one, and so we're very grateful for that, and so. Just really enjoyed my time here. I've been took the job in March of 25, and I've had a great time here in this very first year here in Roundtown. And
how was it transitioning taking over for Tom and the transitioning? How'd you like it? How'd
Well,
you feel about it? Was it tough? Did you have some struggles or?
Well, I think anytime that you move, I think Gallia County and Pickaway County have some very similar ties. The one thing that I really enjoyed about coming here to Pickaway was it still had that small town. It still has that small town community, but there's this a huge opportunity for growth. And for me and my personality, that suits me very well because it gives me an opportunity to continue to build relationships with guys like you and other people in our community because people still value that. But then also there's this tremendous growth where you can get in these rooms and you can affect change and you can be a part of that. And so for me, that was excitement number one. And as far as Tom Davis and the team and Arista Hartzell, who was the previous director, everybody has been absolutely fantastic.
Arista was great to work with.
Yeah, she. I haven't met her a ton, but I will tell you that she left me like a playbook of, hey, here's where this is, here's where that is, here's the longest to this, here's where you'll find this information. It was just extremely detailed and extremely great
that's exactly
for us.
what Tom said about her.
Yeah, she was very, very detailed, and I've appreciated in the times I've spent with her and the conversations I've had have been fantastic. And then Tom is just the guy, like he knows all the history clearly of the Park District and knows the folks that you get to meet and shake
He's
some
just a
hands
good
with.
guy to
And
be around.
yes,
Tom's a great guy.
Absolutely. He's doing a lot for the city of Circleville too, and just for the community in general, and just loves this place. And so it's
And
been
his
really,
son.
really good.
And Tom's
So, yes.
son.
Oh yes. Jonathan he's great too. He actually was the speaker at the Chamber of Commerce dinner.
And for those of you who don't know who Jonathan is, Jonathan Davis, he used to be the superintendent of Circleville City Schools. Now he's the superintendent of
Pickaway Ross.
Pickaway Ross.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Great job down there. He's we've been trying to work with those guys a little bit too, and just see if our paths will cross from a Park District perspective and from Pickaway Ross too, to maybe help out with some internships or even some building projects and some different things along those lines to use some of those skill building things that they're doing down there through the Park District. So, I mean, all of those connections have been really, really good. And for me, I think what you'll find out is that I feel like if you can't build a relationship and a connection, we're as an organization and even as a person, I'm not going to be able to thrive, and our organization clearly is not going to be able to thrive if we can't build those relationships in our community. And so Tom did a fantastic, and Arista did a fantastic job of putting that foundation down. And I think for me, that's what the really exciting part and maybe a little bit anxious or nervous piece is how I can put my thumbprint on this and help it continue to grow. But so far in this year, it's been really good. I think we've made some subtle changes, but also we have some really big plans coming down the pipe. And
What are some of those really big plans?
So let's talk about this for a second.
Just cut me off.
Arista,
It's okay.
Right. Arista and Tom, they built, the Canal Park with the zip lines and stuff, and that's a great park now.
Fantastic.
I mean, there wasn't really anything out there before then, and then of course they extended and they built those big trails out there, made the deal out there for that huge trail, and then of course Roundtown Trail that attaches to Calumet Swamp, which Calumet Swamp is my favorite spring park. I think it's a great spring park.
Swamp, spring, swamp. What?
Yeah. Then that's the reason why it's a good spring park and not a good summer park.
Oh, okay. You meant spring like in the season, not spring as
spring.
Spring, like a spring.
Yeah, it's a great. It's got some really crazy looking trees in the back of it.
Yes.
And it's got all these little walkways. It's great for kids as long as you can keep an eye on your kids because there is some water and stuff. But it's just a great.
I hope the swamp monster doesn't get them.
Right. I mean, but they have frogs there and they have birds and it's just really cool. It's a really cool park.
Here we are. How many cools are you saying so far?
Right.
Tonight?
Here comes the cool meter.
Yes. Cool.
Anyway, so what are you doing to what's your baby right now?
Well, I think like you said, Canal Park is absolutely fantastic. That was when I took the job in March. Jenny and I came up for just as a family. We have 3 kiddos, 4, 5, and 7 now. Sophia's
perfect
7.
ziplining age.
Alex is 5 and JC's 4. And so that was the first park we went to, and the kids absolutely loved it. We got, of course, the inaugural picture in front of the sign at Canal, and then we went down and the kids got on the zip lines and they were like, "Let's go, Dad! We love this park." And of course too, it's good for adults. So I got on there and I got down that zip line, which was absolutely fantastic. And I know that there are other adults.
What's the weight limit on that zip line?
So the weight limit is 250.
Okay. Okay.
But we did put some.
I'm under that, by the way.
I know
what you said. I saw you side eye me. I saw you side eye me.
I was
how under it are you though?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't gonna say maybe we're, but I thank you for clarifying that you're under. I appreciate that. And so,
if you see me out there ziplining, don't ask no questions.
Let's get that on side of post. Let's get that on our social media pages. Let's do that.
Let's get a little Jeremy.
Yes. Yes.
But you get too heavy, then you hit the end and you do that.
Yeah. Well, we've got it now where it doesn't do that. Before it had an old spring system on there where it would like whiplash you back, but now we've got a bungee system on there and it
slows you
it's
down.
Really smooth
it's
and
more safe.
Really nice. Yes, fantastic. So that's been really, really neat. But I would tell you, from my perspective, we've got kind of two things that, really, honestly, three things that we're working on right now. The one thing I know that everybody is wanting to ask some questions about, and I'm definitely willing to give them information, is the old Cooks Creek Golf Course, which our name is Esker's Edge, is the name of that. That is our district office and soon to be nature center that will be there. And so in that building,
what a great property! What a great property!
It is a fantastic property, and I'll give you a little bit of insight on that. So basically what happened is that property was purchased in 2022, I do believe. Maybe, 21, 20-ish, right around in that point. But like 22 is when the contract finally settled in. So that property of the golf course is 325 acres. We purchased 25 acres of that property. So I think a lot of times when people go by there and they know the park district owns it, I think they think we own the entire thing, which I would have thought that too. But what we own is basically the main entrance. We own all the maintenance buildings. We own the clubhouse. And then we own the shelter house that's kind of in that back piece right there, and then the loop that goes around it. That's what the Park District owns. The rest of it is owned by an organization called Appalachian Ohio Alliance. A lot of people know it as AOA. And so what they are doing is a reclamation project basically on the backside of the Esker, which is that kind of hillside piece that you see there. And on the backside of that, they're creating some veins in there to let that nature flood water that's always there, that always flooded the golf course, to just be nature pieces there. So letting that water come back in and letting it kind of grow back into nature and let the birds come back and the different things along those lines. And so what the Park District will have once a reclamation project is complete is they will have a trail agreement in place with Appalachian Ohio Alliance, which will give us an opportunity to use about 50 to 60% of the old golf cart paths. And the majority of that agreement came through where AOA used EPA dollars, and you can only have so much of the land with trail agreement processes in it and all the boring things that come with all the paperwork and grants and pieces along those lines. But
it protects that land too, right?
What's that?
But it protects that land.
It does. It does protect that land. So I think even too, like early on, I've had some opportunities to go meet with the Rotaries and some different things like that. And they're like, Craig, let's do mountain biking and let's do this and let's do that, which I think are all fantastic things. But at that specific facility, that will not be the case. So, I think that even probably too, if you would have asked Tom and Arista and the crew, I think that was probably part of this is going to be fantastic. But at the same time too, the more that they got into it, the more that they learned about what the grant process looked like in that paperwork. I think that kind of
the restrictions,
of it. There's a lot of even different restrictions of what type of playground we can put in there and different things along those lines and how it would disturb nature and things along those lines. So I think there are a lot of pieces from that project that could be very difficult, but also I'm a big let's turn some lemons into lemonade kind of guy.
Agreed.
And I think from my perspective, when I walked in there and I saw what I mean, that the clubhouse is an amazing building that honestly I look at it in thirds. A third of that is going to be our new district office, which is almost complete. It'll be complete here within the next couple weeks, and we'll move in there. We're already there, 8 to 4 Monday through Friday, and then we do house events there. But if the public wants to come, any event that's there, it has to be guided by our staff. And if it is, then basically what I say, if it's guided, it's good. And so then you can come and participate in multiple different events that we have there. But if you wanted to show up and walk, to be very honest, we can't allow you to do so, which stinks. And is kind of ridiculous. And
is that permanent moving forward?
It won't be permanent moving forward.
Just right now because of construction and everything else?
Yes.
Okay.
Once the construction is complete with Appalachian Ohio Alliance, then we'll get that trail agreement signed. And that was a piece of it, too, early on that I think, talking with Tom and Arista and even Steve Flegel, who is the director for Appalachian Ohio Alliance, I think their thought process was as soon as they signed the contract that trail plan would be in place.
Yeah, because this has been years in the works.
Yes,
years.
for sure.
So you say you look at the building is in thirds. Your office, the facility is a third. That what's the other 2/3?
So the other 2/3 will be a nature center, and we're actually in the planning phases of that. We've been meeting with an organization called Blue Cat Designs and
that's
Triad.
in the building?
It'll be inside the building. We have a mock-up of that already, which is absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait till we can get that. We applied for some grant funding for that building, and we have some high hopes for that facility. We do have some dollars that are set aside for that in our next for this year's budget, and then for our next 3-year budget, just in case those grant funds do not come through.
What's the other third?
So the middle will be a nature center, and then the other third will be an event center that will host. It basically, if you've been there, that's probably where a lot of the parties happened anyway, or wedding receptions and pieces like that. But it'll be nature centered. We'll be able to divide that up into 3 different rooms actually, and so if we have different camps and things along those lines that we host out there, then we can split those up into classrooms and some different things along those lines. But all of them will be nature based.
Will people still be able to rent out that
so
space?
They will be able to start to rent that out. At the moment, you cannot do any renting there
until the facility's done.
Until the facility's done.
In that section he's talking about, it's got some great views right there where you used to have
Absolutely
all the water and the
Right.
hills and stuff,
Right.
because they used to have a food there, and I went up there a couple times. It's got a
I
great
catered
view.
a couple events there.
Yeah.
So we just got done. I guess the state just announced some of the capital funding. Did the Pickaway County Parks Department or Park District get any of the capital funding from the state?
So we did not. I did have a good conversation even with Brian Stewart at the event at Barthelmess, and just kind of discuss with him a little bit of, hey, this was the first thing on my desk when I started here in 25. Like, what are some of the things that you're looking for in that? And of course, literally sitting there at Barthelmess, he's like, more things that are more built like this. And so I think for us as a park district, we are a lot more passive recreation rather than an active recreation.
Sure.
And so I think it is a little bit different in like what we're looking for and what we want to do and what our needs are. But I also think too, there are different types of people that maybe that the city of Circleville, for instance, can serve with Barthelmess Park and their expansion and the pieces along those lines, and then also pieces that we can serve as a park district throughout the entire county and not just centrally located in the city of Circleville. So I think that there are definitely some opportunities there, and so we have so we did apply for that capital those capital funds, and then of course Tom and Arista did that also in 24, and so I think just that opportunity of maybe changing the plan up a little bit and looking for some different ways or different avenues and to sparking the interest of those folks is clearly like what we want to be able to do. I mean, we're excited for and grateful that Brian is in our community and the relationship that I'm building with him. I mean, being the new guy on the street, I mean, it's very difficult to find some time with with Michelle Reynolds, which she's been very good to me too, and with Brian Stewart to try to get in front of them and shake the hands and do all the fun things. But I think in these next couple years before the next capital funds come here in 28, that there's an opportunity for that even too. So
I want to go back.
Can I
Ask a question?
I suppose.
Thank you. Going back to the former golf course.
Yeah.
At one point in time, they wanted to get a kayak slip in there.
Yes.
And I know that we kind of moved it to the South Bloomfield area and stuff like that. And I know that we got one up there now. But that was one of the good pushes. Is that something that could be possible or not there?
I don't necessarily think so from the Park District perspective. I mean, maybe at some point with AOA, if there's some different things along those lines. But we actually won't have a tremendous amount of access to the water from where our trail agreement is. Our trail agreement's mostly going to be like on the scene side of the esker, I guess. I don't really know necessarily if that was the front nine or the back nine. I didn't get to play the course, so I can't give the actual direction of where it's at. But I guess basically, as you are pulling in to the parking lot, those trails that are in front of the building there and behind the building, you will have access to. But there are not a lot of trails that you would have access to over the esker, because honestly, that's where most of the flooding and water is going to be.
And how many miles is that going to be, that trail?
So that one, I think you asked me a tough question. Tough question right off the bat. I think it's 3 miles. I'm not 100% sure about that.
That'd be a great walk.
But yes,
is it a loop?
Yes, it'll be it's loop. It's loop driven. I honestly walk it probably once every 2 weeks or so. Just because for us, we want to make sure that we maintain the concrete pieces of it, and that those don't deteriorate in a way where we can't use them when we get that trail agreement in place. And so I'll kind of take a walk around there and kind of check it out a little bit. The nature piece for me, I would say, coming from my position in Gallipolis where I was active recreation, and I shouted out the Cleveland Browns and Bernie Kosar. I'm a huge sports guy, so for me, this is a change in the going from an active recreation position to a passive recreation position. But so I'm learning just as much as the normal guy on the street that is. I'm learning to love the nature that's around me and understand the growth of it and what it looks like and how important that nature piece is, instead of just being like, hey, let's cut it down and build a ball field right here, which I would have told you in 2024 probably that I would have been like, oh man, we could probably do some things right here. But it is really neat to find a new passion and new growth and what that nature and that passive recreation looks like. And so that's been really fun for me.
So did you have a question?
So
you could ask it now.
New passions, O-ring.
O-ring.
I have no idea what that has to do with this conversation. But anyway, so the Park District has a levy coming up.
We do.
Are you able to speak on anything about that?
Well, I can't speak on a bunch. I will tell you that one of the things in the growth piece from my perspective is I go from a park manager to the executive director, and sometimes as the executive director, you start to learn new rules of things you can and cannot do.
That's how it works.
Hence the reason why I asked, can you speak on it?
So I can tell you a little bit, but I can't. I will probably, if there's a question maybe that you press, I will say I can't speak on that if that would be okay.
So there's a levy that you guys are trying to get on the ballot.
Yes. So we will
to raise to what's the percentage for the levy that you're asking for?
A great question, Richie. So we will be on the ballot in the fall.
Okay.
In November. And so what we are going to be going to the ballot for is a renewal of our 0.5, which was your 2017 levy that Tom Davis helped present to the entire county of Pickaway and got passed, which is fantastic. We are in year 9 of that levy.
And when does it expire?
So it actually expires in 27. So we will have 3 chances at this.
Okay.
We're not going to take 3 chances, guys. We're just going to,
one and done.
Right, because this is really no new taxes.
Well, so we are asking for renewal of the 0.5, and we are asking for an additional 0.25.
Okay.
So you're going to go from 0.5 to 0.75?
Yes.
Okay. And that wouldn't take effect until 27?
Or
28.
It would 28.
28.
28 is when we would receive the first.
And it wouldn't affect nobody until then?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And so there are some pieces from our levy committee that if you guys want more information of, Tom Davis is our levy committee chair, which is, of course, a perfect
We got to pull
pick.
him in here.
Yeah,
we have to
perfect
have
pick.
him in here.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's-
so
I love
think-
that guy.
I think that
Let's
would
make it
be
happen.
I think
Tom
that would
Davis,
be-
you're going to get a phone call from
Yeah.
one of us to schedule you to come on the
I got
show.
his phone number.
Yeah, so I think that would be a great conversation for you guys to have with him on that. There is a lot of good information that's coming from that levy committee, but I think from my perspective as the executive director, I want to make sure that we talk about what we're doing now and what we're going to do in the next 10 years and get people excited about that, because I think from my perspective, what I've loved, and I kind of touched on this before about Arista and Tom, they really built the foundation of the park district, and we as a staff get to really dictate and grow what the next, I think, 25 to 50 years look like in this next 10-year period. And that's, for me, what the absolute most fun is in this, is that we have an opportunity, but also I really believe a priority in doing that.
So where do you see this money going? Like, is it going to buy more parklands, improve the parks? It's just going to be put back into building and growing and maintaining the Pickaway County Park District, correct?
All of those
All of
things.
that,
All
right.
of those things. I think for us, even too, we were able to just recently purchase. We're purchasing, I guess, ING in this because it's not complete yet, but we are able to get through Clean Ohio grant money a 53-acre piece of land in Williamsport.
Nice.
The Barnes family farm over there, that piece there, it's right on the waterway. There'll be canoe access that'll be there.
That'll be fun.
And that'll be really, really neat. A goal for us, and a goal that Tom really set and communicated to me, was one of the things they really want to do on that waterway is to be able to put canoe access, kayak access about every 5 miles. Excuse me. So you could put in and get back out, and depending on how the length of what you would like to do there. And so
That was a big piece for them when he put all the slips in. The one that I was just talking
Yes.
about within South Bloomfield, and a
Yes.
couple of ones up north.
Yes.
Exactly the same thing. You
Yes.
just ride down the side of the river, and then you get out where you can get out. Yep.
perfect. So I think for me, that's the best piece, is that there's already some of that foundation that's there, and it's really just a priority for us as really a new staff. So I've been here since 25. We have an educator, Megan Ellis, that is just absolutely fantastic. She's worked for ODNR and even for Hocking College a little bit too as an adjunct professor. Just absolutely, she does a fantastic job in the local school systems. She does tons of events. She is everywhere and has met tons and tons of people in our community. She's been fantastic. We have an administrator, Wendy Cottle, that's from the Asheville area, and she's kind of like the glue of our community, or of our park district, and does a great job as an administrator and figuring out all the ins and outs of what our grant processes look like and things along those lines. And then Jamie Lance, who's worked in a couple different places here in the Circleville area and knows quite a few people. Used to have the old Christmas tree farm. His family was a part of that. He is our operations director and has been really good. His knowledge of how to go from the start of a project to the finished pieces have been really, really helpful to me. And so our staff has been really good. And then we've got 2 part-timers that have really been really vital to us, especially when we talk about summer months, about mowing grass and just keeping those parks up to date. But I think when you talk about that, the levy and then what we look like moving forward, I think it does give us a great opportunity to add to that educational staff and that operations staff for growth. But then ultimately, for me, it gives us a real good opportunity to continue to build those connections and relationships through the entire county. We are pretty good in the Circleville and the Williamsport area, and even like the Salt Creek area, which is another park that we can kind of
And that's a park that you guys are working on right now,
yes,
right? So
yes.
talk about that real quick.
Yeah, for sure. So that park is the old Salt Creek Elementary Park, or school. And so Salt Creek Township had that park, and they gave it to the park district. And so what we have been able to do, even just this year, is we've been able to put some split rail fence up, and then also put a brand new sign up, which has been really good. And I know that people are like, "Oh my, you only did that," but I will also tell you, in the pieces of the way that these parks are develop and the cost that comes into those, sometimes just those little pieces, you have to take those as of wins.
But it's a usable piece of land right now
Yes,
for people.
it's flat.
People can go out
Yes,
there and they
it's
can
beautiful.
they can have a baseball game,
Yes,
they can have
yes.
a kickball game, they can
Yeah.
fly a kite.
Yes, and so one cool
Go
thing.
fly a kite.
Yeah, go fly a kite, Jeremy. One of the cool things that we are almost complete with right now is a shelter house.
Okay.
And the way that we actually built the shelter house is kind of an homage to the school, to Salt Creek Elementary School. It's going to kind of have a hip roof on it, which will look pretty similar. I mean, clearly not the same size as the school, but it'll be the same kind of roof line that the school had. And then there'll be some signage and some things like that.
And is that going to be an open one? It's going to
the shelter house. Yes,
Yeah.
it will be open.
So many people use those.
Oh, absolutely.
So many people use those. Every time I go into different parks and stuff, I see people having birthday parties out there. What a perfect place to have a birthday party.
Yes.
Get the kids out there and just let them run, throw a frisbee, all that stuff. I mean, those are great assets for our community.
Well, I'll tell you, even in Gallipolis, one of the things for me, we had a really nice city park that does like Christmas lights, of course, around Christmas. It's very beautiful. But one of the things that they had there, it was like a big bandstand there. And so all of the area high schools, whenever it's prom time, for instance, that's where they would go for their prom pictures. And I think with like Logan Elm High School, I would really love to be able to create like an area there through nature that would be like the backdrop for the prom pictures and different events like that. I know that the mayor was talking about like their movie day or movie nights in the park at Ted Lewis, which is fantastic. We've participated in those as a family, but I think that is another area for us at Salt Creek where we could do that moving forward.
Sure, you're reaching out to a different area that doesn't have that.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that Salt Creek area, like what we've been hearing from them is that they're very excited. As soon as we put the sign up, guys, like that day, we got 7 emails that were like, what's next? Are you going to put a playground? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And like, I love that because it first and foremost, it means that people care and they're interested in what's going on. Now, of course, you have some people that are a little bit pushy, but I think that comes with the territory. And so I think our goal there is to finish that shelter house, which my goal was Memorial Day. We were working so hard on that project. Also, the Barnes property that we just discussed, and then also Asker's Edge, which is our district office up there. That honestly we got a little bit too big for our britches, and so we'll be completing that shelter house here in just a couple weeks. And when we do that, like Jeremy, I'd love to have Side of Post come out.
No, I'd love to do that.
And Richie can we'll just put him
I
on the spot.
haven't seen that property in like 5 years.
Well, I think that would be great, and Richie can make us some sandwiches or something like that.
That sounds like a
I mean,
great idea.
We can get him involved. I got to try to get him involved somehow.
So
But now, wait, one
Williamsport-
second.
Go ahead.
So I think there's another part that people don't realize about the Pickaway County Park District is you guys have a grant program for cities, no?
We do for all townships. It's called the Community Grant Program, and I'll tell you guys, whenever I took this job in March, that was one of the March of 25. That's one of the things that Tom shared with me is that they, as a community, as a park district, it's built up. It hasn't been $100,000 every single year, but once I think probably year 5 into the park district, they bumped it up to $100,000 to any township they can apply. And one of the neat things that we've changed in the last couple years is, so say you're a township and maybe that you don't have your funding is not as big as what a city of Circleville or even a park district might be, and so what we offer is, we bring in that township and we offer them a free master plan of the piece of property that they're looking at. So say they have a clean slate like a Salt Creek, which that was kind of part of the communication. We brought them in. They designed a master plan. We actually pay in full for a company to come in. It's not like they're just meeting with the park district. They're meeting with a design company to design what their dream of this spot might be. The park district covers that in full. And then what you do then at that point is your second year, then you can apply again for maybe a piece of that that master plan. Maybe that's a swing set
To
or
fund
a
it, to
slide
help fund.
or something like that to help fund that. So we've been able to give away $100,000 for the last 5 years. Actually, in total, in the 9 years that we've been doing this, we've done 75 projects for $743,000.
Wow.
And
You guys
that
did
is
one. I think
fantastic.
last year you did the Orient one
Yes.
too.
Yes.
The Orient one's a great one too because
Yes.
it's one of those areas that
Yes.
didn't have anything, and
That's
you guys
right.
kind of, and they had kind of like a little park there, but it was so run down and so rough. It was really nice to see that one get restored.
It's really neat, and we actually funded them again too this year here in 26. They're completing their projects even right now, but we're helping concrete some pieces to their shelter house right there and redo a roof that's there. But in previous years, last year we helped them to do a dog park there, some trail lighting, some benches, some playground equipment. I mean, our name, the one cool thing that I really love in some of these spots, we just kind of give away like these little half signs that say like sponsored by the Pickaway County Park District, and then we kind of put on there what the funding was for. And so in some of these spots, it's really neat because there might be 5, 6, 7, 8 signs that are there because they've been kind of, I guess, repeat customers from that perspective. And so that's been really neat because I think too, I mentioned earlier that you have to have these partnerships to thrive.
Right.
And so, for instance, in some of these pieces where maybe that funding is not the best, we can come alongside of them and help them complete their dream, and that helps out that community. And then even from our perspective, like when you have a really small staff, it wouldn't be beneficial for them to give us their park. I mean, we would, if it came to that or something like that, I think that there would be discussion there. But also, what it really does is it creates some opportunities and some jobs within that township to maybe oversee that park and make sure that's clean and so on and so forth. So it's really neat from that perspective. And I would say I loved last year giving away the big checks. I think that was
It's the big check too,
the
right?
big checks, yes. So if you go back on our social media pages, you will see me with the biggest smile on my face because I get to hand out these Will Ferrell size semi-pro checks to these communities, and it's been really, really neat.
And making
to
change
do
for the
that.
positive.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
So I have a question, not off subject, but back to the week in review stuff.
Okay.
I seen a post on the side of the post.
Okay.
Something to do with yard sales?
Oh,
You gotta get into the yard sale stuff. So we'll see what happens with the yard sale stuff. I put a post out there over the weekend and it blew up. I mean, there's 1,000 comments on there, and a majority of them don't want that to be pushed through. So we'll see what happens once it hits council. They pushed it through tonight, from judicial. We'll see what happens from there. But and I'm gonna get some more information on it because
is it 4 yard sales within a season?
it's 4 yard sales for the year.
For the year, but
you have to space them apart over
they can be
2 months.
But they can be consecutively, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You can have
And that counts as one.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I think you can have a total of 4 days, and that includes cleanup and setup.
Okay.
So a total of,
and then, but it's every other month.
and then it's every other month.
You can't
from
do
there.
it consecutively
Correct.
month to month or
Correct.
week to week.
And they allude that the reason why that they're kind of pushing this down the pipe is because they have a couple of bad actors. Well, I mean, you have 1 or 2 bad actors, but a majority of people in this town and stuff do yard sales and stuff, and we don't have any problems. I've never had anybody complain about yard sales.
Well, yard sales also bring people to communities.
I agree with that.
And then any places to eat or parks to go see.
That's right. And I would tell you, Richie and I do a really good job working off one another. Usually when I eat there twice a week, at least, maybe 3 times, my belly would show that. We do a really nice job.
Subway's got a deal right now.
Oh, get out of here.
Buy one, get one.
Well, listen, I'll tell you why I can't eat at the Subway and I can eat at Richie's. I have celiac disease. I have a gluten allergy.
Okay.
And so Richie is one of like maybe 2 or 3 places that I can eat here in Circleville.
It was a really neat thing during Pumpkin Show when Richie started opening for Pumpkin Show, because for a long time Richie didn't open for Pumpkin Show.
Yes.
He started open for Pumpkin Show, and they found out that they had the exactly what you're saying, the gluten-free, the vegetarian.
I opened for Pumpkin Show to
pumpkin
take care
pies.
of my customers
Yeah.
who could not eat anywhere,
Right.
couldn't have a safe place to eat, and they guilted me into opening.
Let's go.
And
It worked out.
But there's a lot of people, because a lot of people, you know, they look it up online because they have to find that food, and they can't eat that fair food.
Yes.
You know, so all of a sudden they started coming into Richie's place, and, you know, and I had a home base here, you know, for Side of Post. So, you know, I started seeing all these people coming in for what was it, the pumpkin pie, and you had the
gluten-free pumpkin pie, the gluten-free cannoli cream brownies, the pumpkin cannoli cream brownies. And
I was like,
the cookie sandwiches, the gluten-free cookie sandwiches, the gluten-free sandwiches.
Yes.
And usually I give Richie crap, but you know what? That's a really cool thing.
It's really neat.
I said it again.
I think even for us, of course, I bought 2 pies. And my mom has celiac disease. I told her, I was like, hey, I got you a pumpkin pie, but by the time she got to my house, I think I got them maybe on a Friday. By the time she got there on Saturday, 1.5 pies were gone.
They're not just gluten-free too; they're organic gluten-free pumpkin pies that we bake.
They were very good. There hasn't been anything bad that I've gotten from Richie, and of course he always tries to guilt me into getting an extra dessert or something along those lines, which I say yes to because it is fantastic. But I think just even the awareness for Richie, we would even before I lived here, I have an app called the G Free app, and it shows you different restaurants and things. We would go to Columbus, and as we would travel back down, I would stop here in Circleville because I'm like, hey, this guy's got gluten free. This is amazing. Yep. And so when we lived in Gallipolis, I would talk to him some and say, hey, won't you, let's open up another place down here, or let's try to get this down here, or something along those lines, because it was just a nice. When you have that, and just like with anybody with any allergies, when you can feel safe, like you're going to go there and you're going to spend your money pretty regularly. So I think last week maybe I might have been there 4 times last week, to be honest.
I don't know. I don't count.
It was ridiculous.
It was only twice.
So so I would say my wife Jenny was like, hey, that's probably enough Richie's. You need to take it off a little bit here, but
can we swing back around? I got a few more park questions. Now we're building up his ego.
Let's go. Well, we got to watch here. We're running.
I understand, but it'll be all right.
I'm trying to get to 2 episodes instead of just 1.
So I know Williamsport has the Storybook Trails.
Yes.
And it's something that a lot of people don't know about.
Yes.
Tell me about the parks that you see that people aren't using, or you don't see a lot of people, and you feel like that they're a hidden secret.
Well, I think Metzger Preserve is definitely one of those.
Yep. That's the Storybook one.
So if you go into Williamsport, if you're at the gas station at the light, if you turn left and go to the 5-way stop in Williamsport, go down by Ballard Park where the baseball fields are. Metzger Preserve is to the left right there.
And you can see the Storybook there, but you also have something really neat there too, right?
Yes. We also have the concretions that are there.
Concretions. Do you know what a concretion is?
It's a cool word. It basically is like, it looks like concrete basically. So when the water is down,
the pads
like
water,
lily pads. Somebody told me that it looked like I'm going to get in trouble here. The Star Wars the gray ship that is kind of long and odd shaped.
Millennium Falcon?
Yes. That they look like that, and I was like, that's fantastic.
No,
that's
it's a really cool thing. It just like the swamp, the Calumet Swamp. The trees in the back of Calumet Swamp, very unique.
And those are natural stones, correct?
They are natural stones.
They form like through the earth, forming up into a pocket.
Yes.
And that's how they form. They're really neat because they have the rivers running, and you have all these concretions. And I mean, it's really weird looking.
Yeah, it's a really neat, peaceful place too. There's an opportunity, like even with the Storybook Trail. So that comes through actually Governor DeWine, his wife, and even Dolly Parton is kind of a part of that, and her reading program that she has.
It's a great park for like your 5 to 8-year-olds.
I think so. And honestly, to be honest, I think that the neat part about it is, especially in the summer, you can take your family, like my family at 4, 5, and 7. Like you can go over there, and there'll be the first part might say, "Roar like a bear" to the next one, and maybe it's 20 yards away, and so your kids are like "Roar" as you go, or "Hop like a bunny," or whatever it might be, like
skipping and all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah,
it's really very interactive for kids that age.
Yes. So
It's
perfect.
a great park.
And then even too, for instance, if you want to just be by yourself and you see all these snotty-nosed kids that are running around, there's also multiple other trails at Metzger Preserve that you can go, and we have bench seating that's around there too that you can kind of go find a quiet place and go read a book or whatever it might be. So I think that is a place at Metzger Preserve. I think Salt Creek is a place that I want people to learn more about as we keep going. And then even Canal too is a place where you can get the best of both worlds. You can get, or maybe even multiple worlds, in the fact of you can go down the zip line, you can host a birthday party there, you can go fishing there if you want to, which we have a fishing derby that we're partnering with that's on June 27th. That information is on our website that you can get on there for and get registered for. You can take some of the canal trail around the Richards farm and kind of check that out.
And that's
a
absolutely
bit,
huge.
Good.
So
Yes.
warning to you. And there's a second parking spot there where the
Pickaway Trail.
For the Pickaway Trail, but you can get to those trails through there. But that's a massive walk. So be prepared for that one. That's I don't know how many miles. Is it
Craig,
5?
I want to thank you for coming on the show. What is the website for the Pickaway County Park District?
So the website is the Pickaway County Park District or parks.org. PickawayCountyParks.org.
And is there a Facebook page?
There is a Facebook page and Instagram. And I will also say that I am a new TikTok user. And I've got a video or two about the Park District on there. I don't know anything about TikTok other than I put a video together about the Roundtown Trail, so you can kind of check that out.
And we'll put some of those links at the bottom of this.
Yes.
Is there anything else that we're missing?
The Richards Trail's got a couple of really cool benches.
Anyway, is there anything else in the Weekend Review?
There's a bald eagle's
It's
nest
a
there
wood
too.
one. Yeah, it's really neat stuff.
Is there anything else in the Weekend
You
Review?
can cut me off.
Exactly.
Hey,
like scissors.
Can I say one more thing?
One more
Put
thing.
One
No.
more thing out.
No.
Okay,
ahead.
last thing.
Go ahead.
So we are partnering with the Visitors Bureau.
Okay.
I know that you have seen the coffee trails that are around. We'll start
A liquor trail? A whiskey trail?
It won't be liquor or whiskey, but it's called Passport to the Trails.
Okay.
We will have QR codes at each one of our parks and trail systems, and also pop-up ones at many of our events that we do. You will scan that QR code. You will get a sticker, a brand new sticker. Everybody needs a sticker for their new cup. When you first go to your first event, and then after that, if you complete 10 places, which it'll run from probably July 1st-ish through maybe October 1st. In the midst of that, if you get that, you will get a prize at the end, and then we also have some raffles at the end, which will be really neat too. So I'm going to bring you guys some, I don't know if they use swag anymore, but I'm going to bring you some.
Oh, yeah, swag.
Swag.
Yeah,
That's what this is, right? That's
some
some
hats
swag.
and T-shirts from the Pickaway County Park District.
Thank you.
Ink My logo is taking care of us. And
I mean, you
we're
should have
waiting on
brought them
those
tonight,
orders.
but that's fine.
We don't have our order in just yet, but when it comes, I'm going to hook you up. We've got sweet hats from the Pickaway County Park District and some brand new T-shirts too that we'll make sure that we hook you guys up with. But that Passport to the Trails is something that I think is going to be a really neat summer activity, and we're also partnering. I could go on and on with.
Well, I'm not going to let you, but
Pickaway
that's
County
okay.
Health and PAC and the outdoor bingo that you guys have seen around. We're a part of that too. So come check a box. Get
out
your
to a
bingo
park.
filled. So
Get out,
come
go
and see
walk,
us.
go see a
Get
park.
behind you. Get away from your phones and stuff.
Right,
And,
and see nature.
see nature, or take your phones with you and video nature.
Yeah, do that too. Whatever makes you happy. Whatever
Make a
floats your boat.
TikTok.
Whatever tickles your
Send it
pickle.
to the Park
Whatever.
District.
Doesn't matter. Anyway,
Or side a post.
what else do we have? That's it?
Let's just
Thank
finish
you
with
all
that.
for tuning in this week. Thank you, Craig Sanders, for
Thank you.
coming on our show. This is the Weekend Review with Richie and Jeremy.
Oh, what, I don't get to say
episode
Jeremy anymore?
19.
You would say Richie,
You
I say
can
Jeremy.
also follow us on Spotify. Listen to us while you're driving, while you're taking a shower, or whatever. While you're on the trail, walking in one of the Pickaway County parks. You can also you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and Roundtown Radio with Flounder.
Yeah, and that's Flounder.
Tune in next week to see who we're going to have on here for the 20th episode. And we might give you a heads up next week on who's going to be here for the big 21st celebration event of our episode.
We should have drinks.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. It depends on who's coming. We'll discuss it next week. So tune in. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for joining.